All right. I want to continue with this. Run and Shoot is back, and it really is here in Madden 25. I'm going to try to continue where I left off. I would have done this sooner, but uh, my wife has been struggling with a battle with cancer, and it actually won. And she lost. She lost Tuesday. I miss her very much. So things are gonna be changing for me. I was trying to do this channel here, because I enjoy football, but also to try to get something started to make an income to actually help deal with the financial burden of having to deal with cancer. But now my financial burden is probably worse now that she has passed. So if you like these videos, uh, please support me. Even if you don't donate through the PayPal link that should be in the description shortly after I upload this. But if you just like and share with other people you know who enjoy football, especially with this little series I'm going to be doing, or long series, I imagine, on the Run and Shoot, share it with them. And that helps. Uh, so thank you for that and your prayers. I know not all of you are believers. You just want to get to the football, but your prayers would be greatly appreciated. So without further ado, let's get into this here. So I remember my last video, I basically started with the spread slots close because of these three plays where you have a little motion, because you can easily tie it to this formation where you have very similar plays to what you see here, right? To the RIP 60 go swap, to the RIP 61 choice, and the RIP 60Z slide. When we come over here, if we wanted to, we can basically run the same plays, there's just not a motion. So that's one of the simple things you can do when you're playing somebody, is you do the same thing from a different formation. So when they see a different formation, they think, oh, he's going to do something different. But then you do the exact same thing, and they're back at square one, right? So like we see here, 60 slide, square on the left here, it is pretty much exactly like RIP 60Z slide here, triangle. The only real difference is your left receiver here, your X, that he's just doing this fade route, but over here he has an option route. And that option route can actually do crazy things. It has a little glitch to it in certain formation, not certain formation, certain zone coverages. And uh, let me come down here. Divide swap is pretty similar to what we see over here with RIP 60 go swap. And if you wanted to make it just like it, all you got to do is take your slot receiver here, who's doing an in, and make him do an out. And you pretty much have the same play, right? So you basically doing the same exact thing, but you make it look like you're doing something different. And the RIP 61 choice, that's pretty much in like everything here. We got X choice and choice special. I'm not sure if it has the exact thing, but you might be able to change it. Return X choice special. You can use that one. It has a motion comeback. But I'm not, yeah, it doesn't seem like it has the exact play. You could probably pick one of these plays and then switch it over. But what I'd like to do now is actually go over 60 slide against different coverages. I know I went over it a little bit in the last one. You know what, I guess I won't go over the same stuff. I guess I'll show why I really like this formation. I guess I'll start off with something simple here. H replace here. Let's start with this one. And these three right here are awesome. Divide, divide, special divide, swap. These ones are awesome. Matter of fact, they're so awesome, I will do it right now. Uh, with divide and divide swap, let's start with divide. You actually have a, we'll start against a cover two. You have this in route where you hear Devontae Smith. He has this in route, but the way it's run, he gets separation, especially against man coverage. It just burns. Like match coverage, again, he'll get open. If you have the right zone or the users on it, it can be covered, but the computer doesn't cover that route very well at all. And the outside guys on this route, on this play, I mean, they're kind of just distractions, right? Potentially, depending on their coverage, you can hit it. Like this is a cover two, so potentially you could hit the outside guys here. You just wait until, yeah. Let's just go to the replay for that. I'm probably gonna have getting beat up a lot when I'm trying to do this. But as soon as you see the corner right here, he's starting to pass him. You know he's gonna drop him right here because I know it's cover two. I'm throwing it right here, and I'm trying to throw it in this direction so it's away from the safety because I know the safety could easily come over here, pick it. But if I throw it over this way, in this direction, my receivers should be the only one to get it. But as I was throwing, I was getting hit, so that didn't work out. And the same thing on this side. This one looked better. Look, he just burns him. He was pretty wide right there. And we'll see if that happens again. Maybe he's just better at coverage over here. Probably should have put a little more oomph on it, but you see the little honey hole right there. It can be open against the cover two. So they're not always distractions, but it's something they have to focus on. Like, hey, you can get beat deep over here, so you can take their main corners out of the way, right? Because usually the top corners are not in the slot. They're going to cover the outside guys, and then you just have them running down the field, right? They're not even covering a special route, doing all these cuts. Like I have Lattimore there over on Dotson. Even if he was on Brown, all he's doing is chasing him down the field, right? So then you have your other guys, like Devontae Smith's a top receiver. You have him working on a slot guy, maybe a safety, or maybe they come out with a linebacker. And I hope I didn't do a actual 4-3. I mean, 4-3 here. Hopefully I did a nickel. I wasn't paying attention. I just saw cover two and clicked on it. But okay, cover two. Let's run here. I threw it a little too late, but that still worked out. He gets open. You could hit him as soon as he's coming over here, or you can wait till he passes the second, the last defender on that side. So right over there. Threw it a little soon, but I know I'm going to get sacked really fast, so yeah. And against cover two, the other Smith, Anaya Smith there, he should do a corner. So you can hit that too if you throw a high, and I threw it way too late, but that still worked out. Throw a high pass. I'm using revamp passing, so if you hold L1 to throw over, and it didn't really do that. Especially, I guess the receiver's a little short, don't help too well. But you should be able to hit this pass here. But I'm not really doing it all too well. As you can see, his post is, you can see he has an option to do a shorter one, and it looks like he's choosing to do that, which is unfortunate. But either way, what I sometimes like to do with this is I will put him on a shorter one, or let's reset it. I don't always want the running back to block, so I'll put him on something like either what I usually like, since I like to run and shoot, is I like option routes. So if anybody is going to be over the middle, like a user, he has to pick his poison, right? Because you actually got 3 levels here. Because normally the user would be that middle linebacker, right? So you see him dropping back, well, I know I can just do that, right? And if he dives down to that, I can throw it obviously to Smith, because that route always gets open. And since if he's the linebacker and he wants to come down, then I'm definitely looking for the bigger play. And I got killed while trying to throw it to the other Smith, Anais over there, 82. So, yeah, uh, that's how that one would be run against a cover two. It, this one is like super simple because you're basically just looking at those two routes, right? The divide. But it's one of those things to get them looking for the divide. So let's do a cover one. Because against man, your outside guys are, when you see a bump and run like that, especially Brown right here, you're always going to take a look over there. And if it's especially against cover one, there's no safety over the top. So they want to cover one and they want to bump and run. Yeah, take your shots. Might even be able to beat Lattimore. And I did. But cover one, I guess it does a decent job covering this. It makes you have to wait because he's doing that cut. You wait. Yeah, and I get hit. You wait till he passes the guy who has that middle zone coming down in that three hook. Right? But that can also end up being a big play, run after the catch. Now, Anais, I'm not sure what he'll do, because sometimes against single high, they'll cut across the middle, like that dig, but they don't always do that. So let's see what he does here. I'm going to get hit. All right, he's doing the post, so I should be able to hit that. I just got to have some time. Wait for him to get past the... Yeah, I didn't wait too long, but you practice that, you get that. I'm going to try it one more time just to see if I can get the time to wait. And I can't. I try to wait for him to get to the safety, but not always easy. This might be one of those plays when you know they're doing a cover one or even a cover three. It's best to run to a certain hash, right? Because it makes that middle safety play a little bit over to the side so that you have an open side that you have a little more room, right? So that's against cover one. Let's jump over to cover three because it would be very much similar. This is just a normal cover three drop, so it's not match coverage. Now, if you're good, you should be able to back shoulder some throws. And I'm not, so we'll skip over that, but yeah, you might be able to do some back shoulder throws on this. The little Smith's route seems to get open against like everything, so it makes it where the user has to do something about it. So once you start running these plays out of this formation here, he knows that little dig routes there. He's going to have to pay attention to it somehow, right? And if he does that, well, then it opens up other things. Now against the cover three, we should still get this post route from Smith, and you could see that big open area over there, but I only have maybe 2.5 seconds to throw. So I'm going to try rolling out here a little bit. And pressure's making me throw. And he got bumped around. Did you see that one? All right. But you can see that, if you're better than I am, you can make that throw. All right. This is not like the go-to play in this formation. It's one that I just mix in because what I usually like to do is either the special or the swap. So when you have you use the divide and then you come over here and do the divide swap, it changes things up. I know I didn't do cover four and all that, but I'll come back to that. So I come over here. Let's do the same coverages we just went against. This is cover two. Again, you know Smith is going to get open. Potentially you can throw it to Brown, but you'll see how the cover 2 reacts to this swap. If I throw it a bit outside, I'm not actually doing a lot of leading. I'm just trying to throw. But normally I would throw outside and a little bit. It's weird in practice how it feels so different. But yeah, you see, kind of like that, except a lot of more mid-grade play. And then with, dang it, circle was open. I was just trying to remember his name, Dotson. Against the cover 2, he's going to do that little post. But I don't have time to throw that, as you can see. So let's just look at the replay so you can see what I'm talking about. I don't want to sit here all day wasting your time. So he comes over here. You know that safety that's right in front of him. He's going to go more outside. And you should have noticed that the other safety is going the other way. So you have the middle of the field. You just got to throw over the middle linebacker. So if you throw high and probably lead up, you can make a play right here because look at all that open field. All you got to do is throw over the middle linebacker and work on your timing right there. Right? But another thing I like to do sometimes here as well is I like to flood the middle. So I'll either do an in or a drag like this, so that if he's paying extra attention to Smith, because maybe he's going to the guy who's free there with the fire on him. Let's say he mans him up on Smith because he knows I'm going to do that route. And then he's going to use her right there in that area to see if I throw it quick. Well, if that's what happens, he's distracted by Smith, the first Smith there, Devontae X. Well, then I can throw quickly underneath to the other one. And I'll try to see if I can do that right now. So you see how everybody backed up? And then that leaves the underneath. And at the same time, if you see both of those routes, especially against the cover 2, that leaves circle open. But, you know, Deron Payne apparently has developed his pass rush skills. Oh, that's not Payne. That's 94. All right, well, is he 94 or 95? And if I high pass, I might have been able to get over him, but Wagner's a good player. But you see, it's a quick little flood. Let's do a cover 1 with that same play here, with the swap. We'll do the robber press, because that's the same one I did before. Again, you can hit Brown here, and cover 1, the guy on R1 there, Anaya Smith, he'll try to play over the top, but he should do the wheel route, which is not going to get open. If he does the little hook, then you should get him, because in cover 1, they play over the top. They don't play underneath coverage like they do in cover 2 man. But of course, since it's man, Smith is going to get open, so we won't really focus on that. We're going to look at R1 real quick here, and you can see he does the wheel route, and it's covered very well. You might be able to back shoulder that if you practice it. So if you go like that. But yeah, I just know against man, a lot of times he's not going to do that button hook, even though on this one, maybe he should. Maybe not cut inside, but cut outside. And Dotson here, I'm not sure what he does against the cover 1. Oh, he cuts right across the field, and that's actually pretty good, because a lot of times you'll clear the user out with Smith. So let's see if we can buy the time to... You can see right there he was open. I'm going to go to the replay. That time I don't even think I had 2 seconds to throw it. I just wish you could do something in practice to just turn off the pass rush without having to plug in another controller and put everybody in spies. But you can see right there he's open because Wagner's moving away. If you feel like it, you can throw it behind him, but he's open, right? Because everybody was chasing after Smith, and of course Smith is open. You could on that route, he's pretty much always open, and of course against the man press, A.J. Brown's gonna be going for a touchdown. So let's look at the other coverage you did with cover 3. divide, swap, cover 3, drop here. And I am doing a 4-3, so I guess a whatever. They might have better coverage if they weren't doing this. Again, back shoulder, let's look at Brown here. If you're good, you can try to throw it in, and I'm obviously not good at it. The wheel route should just kill, but instead of doing a wheel route, for some reason he did a button hook. Shouldn't have done a button hook there because it was perfectly covered, right? I mean, a wheel would be perfect against a cover 3, but for some reason that's not what happens. I think Dotson might do a seam, and he does. So you could throw that. You might throw it low. So let's do that here. And it seems to be impossible to do that. What if I just... I think he's already double teamed. No, let's double team him. Alright. Double teamed him and you left... Oh my goodness. Alright, let's... rotate the blocking. Double team. There we go. That's what I want. The center on him. Okay. Give me a little more time here. And that didn't work. Still got hit. I'll try to run it and just show the replay to show you where to throw it low. And I just tried to throw it too fast, but let's look at the replay. So he comes up here, passes this guy, and you see Lattimore, he is already turned his hips. You throw it, but I guess I threw it too late. You gotta throw with a bit of anticipation there. So you can throw that against the cover 3. And of course, this always is always open. It's your route that's going to draw the attention, hopefully, of a user. And if you're playing the computer, it's really easy doing like MUT challenges. But let's do the other one here. My actual favorite is divide special because it connects to these 2 other divide plays, right? But it also connects to this other cool play here, H replace. And I'll show you how after I run this a little bit. I'll just start with the same coverages. Let's do the cover 2 here. Again, you have the streaks on the outside. We're not going to focus on that. And again, a lot of times you can put your running back on a route, which will help out in a lot of these things. Like here, an option route can help out quite a bit because every route is vertical, and you just have a dump off, right? Maybe draw the user's attention. But here, against the cover 2, we should see R1 Smith. He's going to split everything up there, split the safeties, and you should be able to get that. But you also... that right there, what I just did, because of the swap makes it where the guy over the R1 Smith comes inside, he bumps the middle linebacker, and then the inside Smith goes outside, and it mixes up their coverage, right? Because he's covering the outside Smith, and he expects somebody else is going to get the inside Smith, and it takes him out of his position. And this ties into that other play, because a lot of times you can just quickly dump it, because of that little switch messes up the coverage. And when it's man, you can get people to bump up and stuff, right? But if we let this run out, we should have a post. It's not something in this one I would go for against the cover 2. I would more look for the streaks. The streaks, that quick one to Smith like I just showed here, maybe even throw it down so that he gets it quicker, and maybe you can hit the ground if you need to. But I may also put him on an option route so that everybody's going after all the receivers going deep. You got someone like Barkley, you can make a big play. And then, of course, like I said, with the streaks against the cover 2, easy. I didn't even control the catch and run. I just let it play out. So Yeah, let's look at the other coverages here, and of course, there's mixing in runs, which helps out a lot because then you can put them into the actual play call you want, right? Because a lot of times you want to attack different versions of the cover three or even cover one. So you want them to bring more people in the box. Like this is definitely an opportunity to do an inside zone, right? Maybe you just pick up 3, 5 yards, but it gets them to respect the run. And if you keep getting 3, 5 yards a run, you get a first down on 3 runs, they're going to change things up, right? So you make them put another safety in the box, right? Maybe blitz, and then you adjust accordingly. But I'm not going to do that as of yet. So we know the outside guys. It's press. It's cover one. We know good chance we can get something there. But against man, let's look at this swap here. A lot of times it can mess things up for him. And work on the timing. If he could, I hit X to catch in traffic. Didn't quite do the trick. But we could also go for Smith. If I wasn't, the other Smith that is, coming across the field when he passes the safety, it's just, for some reason, the commanders really don't want me to do that. That's unfortunate. But let's change the coverage here. You get the idea there. I'm wondering if I take him out of the 4-3, if that will help. Probably shouldn't have just left it in there. But anyway, let's go back to the divide swap. And let's put them in something that more likely they would be in is a dime, maybe a nickel. But let's see if they just have a normal cover 3 drop, which means I probably can't use this to give you the same effect. They should have one here in nickel. There we go, cover 3 sky. This is not match. So, again, with these outside guys, you could try to outside shoulder it, but if you know they're doing like cover 3, you can always put both receivers on something like that, and they'll have the same effect, which I'll show right now. Except those curl flats actually did a good job cutting that off, so that didn't work out at all. But against this cover 3, that big play right there, we'll look at the replay. I'm probably not going to have time to show you anything, apparently, in this video. This is a trash video, but I can look at replays. You can see he's open right here. And you see all this green grass. You throw it over here, right? And you got yourself a completion. And that's what I was doing. And it didn't work out. You know, pass rush always beats, the pass game. You just got to get it, right? So, you see how that works against that formation. I mean, that zone coverage there. And again, you can always put the running back on something. And it's always money, especially when you're doing something like that where everybody's going deep. But I'm going to show you how this connects to this other play here, which I really enjoy, is H replace. So let's start, I guess, backwards. Let's do the cover 3 zone. Now we got all these options here, and the outside Smith and Dotson, they pretty much do the right thing every time. It's kind of nice because you can use this with the levels or levels switch play, and then you mix this in, and it's pretty much the same where they might do the same thing, right? A levels play, except you got a switch going on, where I mean a swap where they're crossing over, and they could just do a button hook, right? Or a little hitch play. And they just always seem to do the right thing. And I hit the wrong button. I meant to hit R1. You see, he comes and he's gonna sit or run, and so will the other guy. It's this plays. It's awesome because, like I was saying with Smith, we'll show later on when we go to the cover two. That route will turn into just like uh, the divide. I forgot what it's called. I was trying to think, just threw it to get rid of it. But he was open, I just threw it late. It's not the divide swap, divide special. You see here with this divide special how against cover 2 and against some other coverages, that swap route from the inside guy where he goes to the seam just gets wide open. Well, this one has the same effect so that you can make that same throw, or you can wait for him to do his cut, which his cut is a lot like the little dig from all those other plays. So let's just do a normal cover 2. And you should see that you get pretty much the same effect. But it's a different play, right? Same effect, different play. You can hit that or get hit. Or you can somehow buy time, which I can't do. But you seem to get the gist. Yeah, not the best one. I was seeing if I could fit it in there. But I guess get cover 2, you see that guy come in. Easy. Make them change their coverage. And against something like this, I may actually put the running back on a streak, kind of clear out some of the stuff underneath. I didn't throw underneath, but I was seeing if I could fit it in there. But you don't want to put him on an option route because R1 would be right in that same place. But I would do this because it does draw attention. It just didn't draw anybody's attention that was worth anything. I did think what's his face was open. The first Smith there, X. What am I doing? I just take way too long to actually throw the ball, but it did seem like the middle linebacker chased after it, but the user's not always going to do that. I kind of wanted Barkley to get the attention of that guy who's on fire on the right, the free guy there. Didn't quite work, but it does seem to... I threw late and he got bumped by Barkley. I'll show that. That's what you got to worry about sometimes with these crossing routes, especially when they do bump and run. Sometimes your own guys bump into each other, kind of like right here. That when I was playing, it seemed like a bigger bump. But yeah, right here you can see he's open. Bad timing. And Barkley did a good job because you see the middle linebackers going deep. And then I cut underneath him. So he did distract. He just didn't distract the guy I thought he was going to distract. But you see how these 4 plays connect very well. And I think this is just scratching the surface about this run and shoot, connecting trip slots close with spread slots close. Because you can actually do the reverse. You come to this formation here and actually motion somebody to make it look like the other actual formation. I'm trying to look at one that I would actually want to do that with, and I actually don't see, excuse me, a play that I would really do that with, to be honest. I wouldn't motion this over to look like spread slots close, really, in any of these. Maybe in this one here on go, taking that red route, that's an option route, because you could turn that into from a post into a corner, or it'd be an out or a seam. That can work, but I think that might be it for this. I think what I'll do is I'll run against random coverages real quick to wrap this up, and I'll go through each one of these plays a little bit against random. We'll do random dime, and like here, this is definitely a time where I would teach him to respect the run, and I didn't. Right? So we'll try that again. But right there, almost a first down. So they see now they bring a safety down. That's what you want. We can attack this cover 3. And it's a blitz. I threw it soft, thinking it would get over that guy. I guess I would throw it high. Always open. They made a play. Knocked it out of his hand. But anyway, if it was like that again, I would still most likely try to get them to respect the run. And again, I would do that again, right? If they're playing against the pass, well, make them face the run. If they're playing against the run, go against the pass. All right? I mean, it's that simple. It's what you see like the 93 Oilers. They would run a lot. I remember Gary Brown just plowing through people because they would just audible to a run a lot of the time. And that made it where they could throw some big plays. I'll do the same here if I want to come over to uh, divide special here. It looks like it could be cover 2 man, most likely. But again, since it was like too high, this is where I would probably do a run. I might even go speed option, and then I'll try to see if he follows him. So right there, this is more conducive to a pass play, but we're still going to do it anyway. All right, get him to respect the run, and that's what they're doing right there. And there, we just live to play another down. This looks like just an all-out blitz. So let's change this up. That's not what I meant to do there. Let's do that. Something quick. That middle linebacker didn't come in, so we'll throw a pick instead. Probably should have just thrown it behind him. But I think you get the gist. I'm just not really feeling it. I hope you can understand why. It'll probably be a while before I get into it again. But gotta do what you gotta do, right? But anyway, again, make them to respect the run. Right there, they got 6 men. I wouldn't choose to run it. I would watch the safeties. Looks like a cover 3. Or look like it might have been a cover 1 or a cover 3 match. Threw it to the right place, just didn't make the play. Here again, let's make them respect the run. And I would do the same right here. Make them respect the run, but we're going to try to throw. You see, when I don't know the coverage, it seems more natural. You do what you normally do. Watch the safeties, look at the coverage. It just feels fluid. But when, for some reason, when you go out and you know what you're supposed to do, you just don't do it. It's weird. I don't know if that's how you guys are, but it's like you need things to play out a certain way. Like you're in the game, not just messing around. But I think you get the gist for that play. And let's come over here to that last one, H, replace, and random. Now, some of these things I like to do, like this is actually kind of a perfect example. If I was over to the right, if I was on the right hash mark, this looks like it's probably a cover 3 of some sort, a cover 3 blitz. Brown should do that kind of fade corner route there. And if I'm over to that hash mark, it has a kind of a glitch there where he didn't do that route. I don't know if it's because I wasn't on that right hash mark or if that's just what he's going to do. But on certain plays, you can motion the guy over and get certain effects out of him. This one is not getting that effect I thought, so we'll just play it as normal. Here, again, get them to respect the run. And if you get a first down on a run, because they're always expecting pass, and that I shouldn't have thrown, or thrown it quicker. Alright, they want a blitz. And look at that. Tons of yards after the catch. This I might still do it. If I think that blitzes to that side, sometimes I might still go to the right. Because I got all the focus over to that side, and I could have had a big run if that guy didn't break off the block. But I think you get the gist. I think I'll go over more, maybe a little bit of the run game next episode. I know I'm just doing a little bit here. And then I'll come back to the passing game, and then I'll come back to a run game. Not too much of the run game. Run game is very simple, and I never come out in a running play, ever. Always come out in a passing play, and then if I see that it's a good opportunity, I'll audible to a run play. But that's that for that video. I hope you can see how you can mix this with my last video. Spread slots close. This is just, scratching the surface here, doing some simple stuff here, and I'm not even demonstrating it that well, especially in this video. Hopefully I did at least a good enough job for you to understand what I'm trying to show. I might have to just plug in my other controller just to stop the pass rush, so I can just sit there, let things develop, to show you how things work instead of somewhat showing you. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Please share, thumbs up, subscribe, support me if you can, if you want. But ultimately, if you're not saved, get saved. Like I know from experience, you never know when your time's up. When my wife went into the hospital, I did not think that was the end. I thought we still had more time. I even believed she was going to recover. But she didn't. It just happened all so fast. And you never know when your time's up. You really don't. So you need to get right with God while you can. Because when we die, we're judged. You might not agree with it, or might not like it, but it don't matter. You're going to be judged, and that's how it is. And the reality of it is that heaven has a certain standard that none of us actually meet. And that standard is actually being perfect in thought, word, and deed. Because your thoughts end up producing the things you say and the things you do. Right? So, you have to have pure thoughts, which obviously we don't, and we entertain those impure thoughts. It's not necessarily evil to have wrong thoughts, but if you dwell on them, that's a choice, right? And then those thoughts, you're going to end up saying things that have to do with what you're thinking, right? Because I think about football, I think about the run and shoot, and here, what am I doing? I'm making a video talking about football and the run and shoot because it's something that I do take time to think about, right? So I'm thinking about these things and it produced these words, it produced these actions. So I hope you can understand, because I know some people, they, oh, thought crime, we're going to condemn me for a thought crime. And it's like, yes, yes. Jesus tells us that you look on a woman with lust, you've already committed the adultery, the fornication in your heart, because that's how it starts. If you hate somebody without a cause, you're a murderer, because that's how it starts. If you don't plant the seed, nothing's going to grow. And the seed is the thought, right? So don't let those thoughts get planted in your mind. But we've all failed to do that. I fail to do it every day. And then we actually got the things we've actually said and done. We got probably a lot of things. I know I do. Maybe you don't have as many, but there's things that I've said and done that I wish I could either have not said or done at all, or changed the way I said it or done it, and you just can't, right? You got these sins that you just can't wash away. There has to be justice, right? On top of you got the sinful nature that desires to do it in the first place. That's why you say the things you say, you do the things you do, is because thinking about saying and doing those things you enjoy, right? That's why we do any kind of sin, is because it's actually fun to do, right? That's why we don't fit into heaven. It would actually be torture for us to sit there in heaven desiring to sin and not being able to do it. That would actually make it a hell. That's partly what makes hell hell, is desiring something else, right? When you desire food and don't have it, you suffer. You desire water and you don't have it, you suffer. You desire a certain someone in your life and you don't have them, you suffer. Right? You desire a certain pleasure, a certain stimulus, and you don't get it, you suffer. And that's what heaven would be if we were actually let into heaven as we are. Not to mention our impure intentions. Why do we even try to be good in the first place? For goodness sake? Because we love God and we love our fellow man? No. We do it so that we won't get punished like a dog. We won't go to hell. And so that we'll get rewarded like a dog and go to heaven, right? That's how dogs are. They don't have morality. They do what will reward them and they won't do what will punish them. So if you train a dog to attack people, anybody, anytime it sees somebody, it attacks them, you reward them with something, they're going to do it because they get a reward. And then if they get punished every time they do something helpful, even to other dogs, like, their natural instincts, you punish them every time they do that, they're going to stop doing it. Right? That doesn't make you a good person. It makes you a dog. Right? And you can't change those impure intentions. You're condemned. So if we were to die right now and be judged, we would justly be thrown into hell. We don't fit into heaven, and the only other place is hell. Because God is life. God is joy. God is righteousness. He is justice. He's love. And if you don't accept Him, then you obviously get the opposite, because there is no life, joy, righteousness, love outside of the source of those things, which is God. Right? So the good news is that in spite of all this, God is for us. He's not against us. It's we who are fighting against Him. And we are the ones that crucified Him and put Him to death, showing that He's not fighting against us. We're fighting against Him. you can see and understand that He's taking your place there. That He's taking your judgment that you deserve. Because right now, you're crucified, condemned to death in hell. You're sitting there just waiting to die, and once you die, you're going to be thrown into hell. And then you can see that Jesus comes in and takes your place. You understand that He's taking your judgment so that you don't have to go through it. So that He can die for you and be thrown into hell for you. So that your past, present, and future sins, your whole entire life, everything you got has been nailed to the cross. It's done. And you give up your life, which is obviously imperfect, immoral, and mortal. It's going to end. So why not give it up to God anyway? Because He freely gives you His life in exchange, the only life that is eternal. Because eternal is always existing. You can't have an always existing life because you didn't always exist. The only way for you to have an eternal life is to partake of God's eternal life, the only one that has always existed and never had a time where He didn't exist. And He freely offers that you the perfect life that He lived as a man so that you can be saved and enjoy heaven, to be changed from the inside out, where your intentions are no longer about avoiding hell and earning heaven, because God freely pays for your justice, what you deserve, in going to hell for you and dying for you. You don't have to worry about going to hell. That has already been paid for. You get what Jesus deserves. You get heaven. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. You're saved. You're sealed with the Holy Spirit of God and made one spirit with Him. You're saved. So now your intentions are about, oh, I do this because I love God and appreciate what He's done, and I love my fellow man and want them saved too. Your intentions become purified. And then you start to change on the inside, where you don't desire the sins like you used to. And the sins that you are struggling with don't have the same appeal and don't have the same control over you. Right? You're starting to partake of God's life. And then you see that your sins are washed and cleansed in the blood of Jesus. You have God's life in place of your own. You're covered in His righteousness, where He did everything perfectly and gave that to you and He credited it to you. His righteousness, His goodness, His life, He credited, I can't even say that. He credits it to you as if it's yours. If you just freely accept it by faith, if you believe and trust that He's truly for you and that He's done this for you, which is first obviously accepting that you're condemned, then He does this for you and He saves you, and it's all set. We're all done. And now, God forbid, if you died right now, or if you die tomorrow and 10, 20, 30, 40 years, you're set. No matter what you end up saying or doing in the future, you're sealed, and you're sealed until the day of redemption, which is when Jesus comes to get you. So if you haven't done that yet, do it now. And then we can enjoy some football and going over the run and shoot. Yes? Because we can see that things are falling apart here. Time is almost up. This time of grace to accept this gift that is given is almost over. And when it's over, some of you who may listen and you don't believe, the rapture is going to happen. And then things are going to change. And it's not going to look good. You're going to have to suffer and die, or suffer for the whole time until Jesus returns to be saved. Where here you can accept God's death in your place, but in time to come you're going to have to reject the world and everything it offers and suffer like Jesus did and die so that you may be saved. Maybe you think you're tough and you can go through that. I wouldn't risk it. So with all that being said, thanks for watching and take care.